off with the deep breathing, which is a really nice way to start. So interlacing all 10 fingers, just placing the fingers underneath the chin. Bring the toes and heels to touch. If you need a little bit of space between the legs, that's okay, between the feet. Bring the elbows together. And so it's just like this. I'll just do one. So inhale, deep through the nose, till the elbows are all the way up, lungs are full. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward, out through the mouth, bring the elbows together, and then come back to center. So if we work through that, probably going to do about 8 or so. So when you're ready, just start. Inhale. Exhale. To the front, inhale. Exhale. Back to center, inhale. Exhale. Center, inhale. Exhale. Back to center, inhale. Exhale. Three more, nice and deep. Inhale. Exhale. To the front, inhale. Exhale. Last one, so make it really deep. Inhale. Exhale. And just come back to center, bring the hands down. Come into Tadasana. Just close the eyes down like you're in Shavasana. And just feel the warmth in the body now that really, really heats up the body. When you're in Tadasana, it's like Shavasana. So always remember and bring your shoulder blades together, sternum up. It's really good to get into that habit. Palms facing forward, chin towards the chest. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the hands above the head, interlace all 10 fingers. Release index, cross the thumbs, arms with the ears. So push down through the heels, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs as well. Push the hips forward slightly. Arms against the ears as much as you can go. Reach up on the inhale, exhale, come down left and right. I haven't done this one for a while, but it's a really good way to start your day. As much as every time a teacher does this in my class, I go, oh no, God. Oh, that's a good one. And come back to center. So set yourself again, always get used to pushing down through the heels. Squeeze the thighs and the glutes. Push the hips forward. Bring the arms up and squeeze the ears. Reach up as high as you can with the fingers. Inhale and come down to the left. Holding there. So always making sure that you're pushing the hip out as far as possible, but keep the weight in the heels. Okay, so really important there. Push the hips slightly forward. And then just bring the left shoulder towards the camera slightly. So just that slight twist. Reach the fingers over as far as possible. We can do that by pulling the top hand over with the left hand. Come down a little bit deeper, so that means pushing the hip out wider. Bring the weight back to the heels. Come down once more. Inhale, come up. Again, reset, push down through the heels, squeeze glutes and thighs, push the hips forward. Reach up, Inhale, exhale, come down to the right. So again, bring weight to the heels. Control the breath. And pull that left hand over the top with the right. Bring the right shoulders towards the camera slightly. Weight in the heels, come down a little bit deeper. Deeper. And then inhale, come out. Hold the arms where they are, come into a back bend. So push down through the heels, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. Drop the head back. Arms back with the ears. So keep pushing the hips forward. Arms back with the ears, keep coming back, back, back. And just keep rolling the eyes back. Doesn't matter how far you come back, push the hips forward, weight in the heels, roll the eyes back, hips forward, weight in the heels, eyes back, push the hips forward, weight in the heels, come back once more. Exhale, come all the way up. Coming forward, bend the knees if you need to. Fingers down on the floor, walk those heels out. Drop the head down. So we're coming into a complete forward bend from a back bend. So just maybe a little bit of dizziness, maybe a loss of breath. Just feel that looseness in the lower back as we try and loosen through the hips. Okay, this is always harder to perform this early in the morning, 7:30 for us, especially for you, Carmela, a lot earlier. It's always harder to perform this one compared to the afternoons. So bend the knees, bring the stomach to the thighs. Reach around as much as you can to behind. The best way is to stand on the fingers. Work the elbows behind the thigh, the calf muscles, and then pull and stretch. So you want to pull and stretch. Start straightening the legs if you can, bringing the forehead towards the thighs, hips up. Really good stretch for the hamstrings. Keep dropping the head down as you push the hips up. Keep pulling and stretching, pulling and stretching. And breathing. So you're going to keep pulling here, another 4 or 5 breaths. Pull and stretch, dropping the head down, straightening the legs as much as possible, pulling as hard as possible, bringing the forehead close to the shins, close to the feet, hips up, head down, hips up, pull, and then release. Bend the knees, come all the way up. Palms together, release the palms, and then back into Tadasana. So same thing, shoulder blades together, sternum up, and relax, get that breath back. The heat should be flowing through the body now. So we're going to be working on the hamstrings, and that was a really good hamstring stretch. The next one, we'll go deeper into the hamstrings. So the next one is a 3-minute pose. You know this one. It's dangling pose. Just bending forward correctly, okay? So just holding. So bring the feet together if you need to. If you're just working on a little bit of balance and stuff, you can bring the feet apart, of course, but bring them together if you can. Shoulder blades together, sternum up. And you're going to feel where your hips are. Find that bone, the hip there, the pelvis. Lengthen through the spine, chin away from the chest, and come forward with the chin, bringing that pelvis down. Feel the fold. And once your head starts dropping down, release the hands. Bring the hands down onto the floor or each elbow. Drop the head now. Beautiful. And holding there. Okay. Really deep breathing. So now we're going to connect to Ujjayi breath. Making sure that you're working on the stomach towards the thighs, hips up, and dropping that head down. So let the weight of the head just dangle down. That's the idea of this pose here. Breathing. Beautiful. Just keep working with that breath. Keep enjoying this upside down feeling. Eventually you start getting used to this feeling of being upside down and it becomes quite normal. Keep the breath going. And just remember, if you need to bend the knees slightly, do that. Otherwise, just be comfortable with the legs so you can straighten the knees, straighten the legs. So this morning already, we've got a lot of space in the spine. Okay, so now we're pulling on those hamstrings. You're getting so much space in that lower back. Okay, so that's the idea. We can get deep into the hamstrings here. Keep working with the breath. You've got just on a minute to go. So hips up, head down. Try and bring as you're dropping the head down, just try and bring the head towards the shins. Good work, guys. Really good poses there. Everyone's just honoring their body where they are. It's perfect. The stillness, that's what's going to improve you, is that stillness, getting to that spot where you can go to today. Become still and just breathe. Perfect stuff. Last 20 seconds to make these really deep breaths. Slowly come up, bending the knees. Come up nice and slow, really, really slow. That's it, work your way up. And just have a breath or two in Tadasana, just a few breaths. And when you're ready, in your time, just go into Shavasana. Laying down, relaxing. Before you get comfortable in Shavasana, grab your strap, if you've got a strap beside you, around you, or your towel or whatever you're using. Just relax in Shavasana. Beautiful. Just relax. A good minute here, because the next few poses are dedicated to hamstrings, just like the last one. And I know you guys are all getting it now. The Shavasana is so important, because the stillness that I see now on the screen is awesome compared to when we first started doing all this. Because we know that this is resetting everything. This is the relaxation, calmness, the healing. So as we lay there, we're going to grab the strap and we're going to come into either hammock pose or just pulling on the hamstrings, okay? So wrapping the strap around the foot, the right foot first. And if you can do hammock, which is just wrapping it around the top of the head, coming back, left leg straight. So that's hammock if you can do that. If that's a bit uncomfortable or it doesn't reach or whatever, grab as high up the strap as possible and continually work that right leg towards the body, because it's always going to drop backwards the more we just let it go. So just work on that tension coming up to where you can work with today, that is. Nice long hold, 3 minutes either side. And enjoy breath. It's really important here. Focusing on the breath. And just every 5 or 6 breaths, if you're holding the strap, just check where you are tension-wise. Either bring it a little bit closer or ease it off, whichever one you feel you need today. And if you find yourself that your shoulders are on the floor and your head's on the floor, always bring those shoulder blades together, chin towards the chest. Just try and get into that habit of lengthening through that cervical spine. Through the entire spine, but mainly we're working cervical. There. If you find you're in a good place with your hamstrings, you can push that heel towards the ceiling and bring the toes towards the shins. Just get that deeper stretch down into the Achilles. It's all progression, even if you just do it just for a few breaths. The last 50 seconds on this side, so devote this 50 seconds 100% to the breath. Just that dedication to focusing only on the breath, not letting the mind wander. So last 4 or 5 seconds. So you can use this time to switch if you like, just switching sides. There's a bit of moaning in the live crowd here. So getting set up, find that stillness. Once you get the right tension, and again, just remember, if your shoulders are on the floor, bring the shoulder blades together, chin towards the chest. If you want to go further, push the heel up, toes towards the shins. It's going to be a really nice relaxing pose once you're in that place where you're getting the stretch. But if you start to feel shaky, that's a really good thing. You're getting into the central nervous system there. When you start shaking, it's really important to connect to the breath a little bit deeper, start deepening the inhales. It's going to just relax the nervous system, switching on to parasympathetic. It's the last 30 seconds, so you want to push that heel up and try that. Bring the toe towards the shin. When you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose. Just keep your strap handy. You may need that for the next pose. Bring your left leg down, both legs down. Get yourself comfortable in Shavasana. Another good minute in Shavasana here. When you're ready, we're going to bring the knees up into the chest this time. Spend the next 20 seconds here. You can roll on the lower back or pull the knees in, whatever's comfortable. Then bring the fingers behind, roll up to a seated position. We're going to come into a familiar position, but this is a really good hamstring lower back stretch. Have your strap if you need it. We're going to come into Janu Shavasana, but more the Paschimottanasana type. So the legs straight. Okay, so left leg straight in front of you as much as you can straighten it. And then just bringing the right knee down, right sole of the foot into the left quad. So if you're using the strap, just make sure you grab the strap where you want to grab it, down as low as possible. Inhale, lengthen, shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest, and start pulling down. So you're getting that stomach to come to the quad, to the thigh. So pull down and come into that position. If you're not using the strap, lengthen, come forward and pull down. You can have a cushion or a block for your head if you want to. Remember, Janu Shavasana is head to knee. Okay, so we're looking at the knee. That's our goal, is to come to the knee. Nice long hold in here. Okay. Focusing on the breath. So I had a bit of a hip injury. Must have hit about Thursday or something last week. And this pose here really helped lengthen out a lot of the muscles around the hips, and it just released the pain. It's a really, really nice pose to work on tight hips and lower back. There's some poses in yoga that you can just continually do and you continually put in your classes, and the reason is there's so many benefits, and this is one of those poses. The benefits of the stretch through the hamstring, the lengthening through the lower back, and also we're still working on the right knee and the right ankle and the right hip. So lots happening. Just keep working with the breath, keep working through stretching the feeling that you're feeling. So keep breathing into that deep stretch, and it is a deep stretch. Sometimes you can feel after doing this pose for a long time. There's a couple of classes done it for 10 minutes, and you feel like you've had a workout after the pose. You're really stretching deep. Always make yourself comfortable. If you find a way where you can get a cushion involved or putting your head onto a block, it's always really nice. So you've got just over a minute to go on this side. And if your hand's on your feet, there's a couple of things you can do. You can swap the way your hands are. So your right hand at the moment is on the inside of the foot. Bring it to the outside and bring the left hand to the inside, and then just crossing at the wrist, you're pulling down. You're going to get a deeper stretch. And the other way is just bring your hands around, drop the elbows down to the floor next to the shins and lift the heel up. Both ways you're going to get a really good stretch, a deeper stretch. So if you're crossing the hands, you're getting a deeper stretch in the lower back. If you're dropping the elbows down to either side of the calf muscle and lifting, you're getting a deeper stretch through the Achilles and the hamstring. So it just depends on where you want that stretch. When I had the tight hip, I was crossing my hands, getting that deep stretch in the hip. So when you're ready, slowly coming up, switching sides, stretch that right leg out. Bring the left leg up, left foot up. And again, right leg as straight as possible with this one. The strap, make sure you come down as far as you want to go with the strap. Lengthen and then come into the pose. As you come down, look at the knee, bringing the stomach closer to the thighs. And once you're in the pose, start working on the breath. If you ever get a bit uncomfortable in that left knee, it's because you're putting tension on it, because a lot of the time it won't go to the ground. So you can just place a block or a cushion under that. That usually helps with that. So you find that Janu Shavasana in yoga therapy is just one of the therapy poses for tight lower backs, because of it's usually it's either the hamstring or a hip flexor that's causing a tight lower back. And this gets into both. Working with the breath. You're just on halfway through this side. So this last minute, just work on that Ujjayi breath. And then if you want that deeper stretch in that last minute, just what we did on the first one, you can do the same, crossing the hands. So 30 seconds to go. So this is where you start looking at the knee and getting into the deepest position you can get, but make sure you're breathing when you're doing that. So all you're doing is just giving that muscle memory that little extra boost. When you're ready, slowly working your way out. Come into a really nice Shavasana after that. You should feel it from that pose. You should feel the lengthening. You should feel lots of different things from that pose. It's a really good, complete stretch of the lower body. Okay, so it's time to reverse the blood flow. So moving into Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall or legs straight up. It's a really nice pose after Janu Shavasana. So you can bring the hands underneath the hips if you like, legs straight up. You can find a wall or your lounge up against the lounge or the bed, legs straight up. So good 3 minutes in this, which is going to really relax the hips. We're relaxing the heart, obviously, but we're relaxing the hips before we go into a few back bends. So this is the idea, is just to reset everything. Plus we're getting the reverse blood flow. Making sure you're bringing the shoulder blades in towards each other, chin to the chest, as usual. We're laying on the floor like this. And then just become as relaxed as possible, palms facing up. Continue to work with the breath like this. Just making sure your legs feel nice and light and relaxed. This is nice, relaxing pose. After some deep hamstring stretches, this is really relieving any tension that's left through Janu Shavasana in particular. Just the last few breaths here. And then when you're ready, just bringing the legs down, lift the hips up into Shavasana. Just enjoy that blood flowing back through the hips and the legs now. You should be able to feel it now. You should be able to feel that difference. That fast, positive blood flow. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest again. Just take your time. Just have a nice hug. You can roll on the lower back if you like. And then just roll up to a seated position, and you're going to flip over into prone position. Just a few back bends in a row now. So the 2 in prone and then 1 in a different position. So we're going to start with Sphinx. We'll start with Sphinx this time. So elbows underneath the shoulders, palms on the floor. Bring the shoulder blades together, sternum up. If you did any stomach muscle exercises yesterday, like I have, you feel it here. Shoulder blades together, sternum up, chin up. So relaxing the glutes, relaxing the lower part of the body. Always keep just checking on yourself so the shoulder blades together, pushing the sternum forward and up. Okay, you're going to get that really nice squeeze in the back. When you're ready, you can either stay where you are or you know what you're coming in for with seal. So just squeeze the glutes first and then push the floor away. Then reset the shoulder blades and sternum. Every time you go in and out, just reset shoulder blades, sternum. And keep pushing the chest forward and trying to bring the sternum up towards the ceiling. And then relax, slowly come all the way down. So straightening out the spine, and then just bring the hands to the sides of the rib cage, elbows in, but just hold there. Don't lift yet, just hold. Bring the forehead to the floor, feet together, and just hold in that position. Don't lift, just hold. Now while the forehead's on the floor, squeeze the glutes. Push the thighs into the floor. Bring the elbows into the rib cage. Drop the shoulders down and forward, and then lift just the chest off the floor. Elbows in, shoulders forward, chest up. Squeezing the glutes, pushing the thighs into the floor, tops of the feet into the floor. Coming up a little bit more. And then exhale, release, come all the way down. Just relax. You can come into crocodile pose, feet out, heels in. And forward on the stacked hand. When you're ready, just bring the feet together. Bring the arms out so the palms facing down this time, away from the body. So we're coming into Purna Salabhasana. It's a really important pose to stretch through the whole spine. So inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the chin, then lift the legs and come up. So keep lifting the chin up and bringing the shoulder blades together. So that means the sternum is going to come up when you bring the shoulder blades together. Bring the hands up as high as you can go. Bring the legs up, chest up, chin up, arms up, legs up. Chin up, sternum up, arms up. Bring the shoulder blades together once more. As you bring the legs up as high as you can go. Keep high legs, high chin, high chest, high arms. Exhale, slowly come down. Crocodile pose. Just get that breath back. When you're ready, I'm going to help yourself up. Before we come into another back bend, we're going to do a twist. So come up into lunge position, bring the left leg out. You need something under your knee, just put it under the knee. We'll be here for about 1.5 minutes either side. So with this twist, it can be quite intense. My knee's a bit sensitive today, so I'm going to put something under there. So it's quite intense. So get yourself into a position. Make sure that you can see the big toe. You want the ankle underneath the shin. And you can either bring your hands into prayer position and then twist and come into this pose like that. Or you can just bring your elbow there, stomach towards the thigh, and bring the palm on the lower back. Okay, so whatever's comfortable for you, just feel the twist that you need today. Okay, so it can be deep, it can be intense, or it might just be the twist that you desire for the day. So it's 1.5 minutes. It's quite an intense twist. We're also working with balance here. You probably feel a bit of shaking, especially after 1.5 minutes here. Keep breathing. Last 30 seconds here. So really just working on the breath, calming the breath down. It's a difficult one because the breath stays heightened here. Release, bring the hands down onto the floor, switching sides. And just setting yourself up, whichever twist you like. Just remember, a twist could be this as well, just both hands on the thigh, just twisting around, just depending on how you feel. You're getting a good stretch through that hip flexor of the left as well as the twist of the spine. Squeezing those abdominal organs, so massaging the abdominal organs. Last 25 seconds. And when you're ready, slowly release. We're just going to come and sit on our bums, legs straight out. Let that blood run through the legs. Just enjoy that. We're going to go through a back bend, forward bend, and then we'll finish with the back bend and Shavasana. So with that movement of the back bends now, you should Everyone's getting into them quite well because our hamstrings are really, really loose. We've got a lot of space in the spine. So we're going to flip over now, come up onto our knees. We're going to move into a pose called Ustrasana, camel pose. So a couple of things before you get into this pose. So you want your knees hip width apart. If you've got a cushion, you might even want to put that behind, and I'll show you why in a second, but I'll show you the full pose first. So the full pose is bringing the hands into the lower back, push the hips forward, shoulder blades together, sternum up, roll the eyes back. If you're looking far back, you can drop down onto the heels, but that takes a bit of practice, so don't go too early. Push the hips forward, sternum up, head back, roll the eyes back. That's really important. A good way to get comfortable in this is you can bring your hands back there and then slowly onto the cushion if you need to. Okay, so just work with what you want. This is really nice if you stretch, if you're not used to going too far back. But always bring the shoulder blades in towards each other. So set yourself up. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds in here. Always drop out if you need to. And when you drop out, just go into Shavasana. If you drop out, that is. Squeeze the glutes, doesn't matter where you are. Really important to squeeze the glutes. Get a good grip on the heels if you're back there. Thumb on the outside, fingers on the inside of the feet. Shoulder blades together, drop the head back. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep dropping the head back, rolling the eyes back, hips forward. Sternum up, hips forward. Drop the head back. We've got 30 seconds left, so keep going, pushing the hips forward. Squeeze the glutes, continually squeeze the glutes. Chin away from chest, shoulder blades together, roll the eyes back. Push the hips forward. Sternum up, roll the eyes back. A couple more breaths. When you're ready, slowly come out, bring the hands into the lower back. Just watch the dizzy spells that can happen here. Sit down into the heels and then flip over into Shavasana. So that's a really deep back bend, but our back was prepared for that. So you would have got into it as deep as you can go. That's a real emotional buster as well, that pose. So the squeezing the adrenals so tight that we could be awakening a lot of emotions, and they could be happy, sad, angry, lots of different things. People come out crying, laughing, come out wanting to kill you. Just joking. People get angry after it as well. So whatever the emotion is, you don't need to know. It's just releasing it. Just feel now that blood flowing through the back, lower back and the hips. So now bring the knees in, have a bit of a squeeze there, and then roll up. Bring the legs out straight. And we're just doing a quick Paschimottanasana. It's not long, I think 30, 40 seconds. We'll go a minute in here. We'll go a minute in Paschimottanasana. So if you need to strap, you can wrap it around your feet, lengthen the spine and pull forward. So you're pushing those hips back. Okay, so shimmy the hips back and come forward. You don't need to strap, lengthen, come forward, pushing the hips back. So what I mean by pushing the hips back is shimmying those hips. So or forward like this, whether it's a strap or you're holding, and you're just pushing those hips backwards. And look how much forward I come just from pushing those hips back. So Paschimottanasana is head to toe. So look at your toes. Get the head towards there eventually. So just keep on working towards that. You've got 35 seconds left in this. So this is just a nice finisher to stretch through the hamstring. Release the lower back after that really deep back bend. It's one of the main factors. You can't finish on something like Ustrasana. You need to reset the lower back because you're actually compressing the back in a certain way in Ustrasana. When you're ready, slowly coming up, we're going to move straight into the final pose before Shavasana. So grabbing your block or your cushion or whatever you put underneath your hips, just lift up, place it as high or as low as you like, stretching the legs out and just releasing now through that lower back. I'm just going to be in here for a minute or so, then in Shavasana. It's good. People let their hips up nice and high. It's really nice to finish this way. So then leave it up to you. Whenever you're ready, it might be now, you might want to hold there a bit longer, you might want to hold there the rest of the time, but if you do, just make sure you bring your hips to the floor before you get up. So just preparing for Shavasana or staying in with that block or whatever you've got underneath, it's totally up to you. Move it out whenever you feel that you need to move it out. All you're going to do in Shavasana now is just focus totally on the breath. You're going to focus on So Hum as you're laying down. So inhale So, exhale Hum. Inhale So, exhale Hum. And just continue through with the So Hum, So Hum. So now you're going to change from So Hum to a visualization. So the empty spine visualization. So filling up the spine with the inhale from the hips all the way up to the top of the head. So visualize the spine filling up with air. Then exhaling, emptying the spine from the top of the head all the way down to the hips. Inhales, filling as you visualize, exhale, emptying. Then you're going to stop the visualization and go back to So Hum. Saying to yourself mentally, So Hum. Then just release the focus of the breath and just breathe normally, just natural breath. And then just look up into Chitta. You should know that space now. So roll the eyes upwards towards the space between the eyebrows. Just see what Chitta is doing today. Remember, it's the manifestation of your consciousness right here. Just notice the shapes, the colors, depth. Is it fast moving? Is it slow moving? And just relax the eyes again. And just move into So Hum. Inhale, So. Exhale, Hum. And just go back to natural breath. And just move into Chitta once more. Just remember, that's a place where you can't access any information from the brain. If you're getting thoughts up there, just look a little bit deeper into Chitta. You'll just find that the thoughts just melt away. Only you that can access this place. So make it yours, make it peaceful, make it relaxed. Check out the colors, check out the vibes there, check out how relaxed it is there for you. It might just be a deep, dark space, but it's a calm and safe dark space. And just relax the eyes again. Just focus on the natural breath. Then just visualize yourself laying there on the mat. See if you can see yourself laying there on the mat, peaceful, relaxed. Just have a look at the clothes you're wearing, have a look at the surrounds around you. And just visualize the room that you're in, ceiling, the walls, the floor. And just feel the bliss and peacefulness that you feel right now. And carry that through the day with you. And just send a gratitude to someone in your life. And then just thanking yourself for dedicating yourself to the mat on a Monday morning, nice and early, starting your week in a positive, way, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And when you're ready, start wiggling toes and fingers. Rolling to the right-hand side. Take a breath there. And just working your way up into Sukhasana, cross-legged position. Once you get there, again, just take that nice deep inhale. And release all the breath. And thank you once again for being here this morning and dedicating the time to yourself and allowing me to take you through the class. And again, it's always a pleasure to be taking you guys through the class. Have a wonderful rest of Monday. Namaste.